enter the cave, if you dare. In the corner of an abandoned library, buried in dust and silence, he found a map. Faded ink, torn edges, a path no one dared follow. At the bottom, one word remained: Eldoria. By nightfall, he reached the edge of the forest, said to swallow all who enter. The trees leaned inward, like watchers. The path ahead was not on any map, and still he stepped forward as if guided by something older than memory. The forest whispered, not in wind, but in memory. Each branch curved like a finger. Each stone hummed softly beneath his boots. He didn't know how, but he'd been here before, not in this life, but another. Time shifted. The forest no longer followed the sun. Shadows stretched, while the moonlight stayed still. At the path's end, a wall of thorns parted on its own, and beyond stood the broken gates of Eldoria, still, breathing. Eldoria was silent, but not dead. The gates whispered as he passed, not in words, but in memory. Streets lay broken, yet lit by lanterns that hadn't burned in centuries. Something here was waiting, and now it had noticed him. Along the shattered walls, stories were carved, not with tools, but with memory. He traced a hand across them, and they moved. A war, a betrayal, a silence forced upon the land. The deeper he looked, the more he saw himself. Then came the whisper, no longer faint. It slipped beneath the stones, wrapped around his name, and breathed the single question: why did you leave us? At the far end of the courtyard, a throne of stone and roots still stood. Upon it, a figure cloaked in shadow, still as death. He couldn't see its face, but it was watching him, and had been for a long, long time. His pendant pulsed, once, then again. The fog parted, and time broke. The ruins around him faded into light and fire. Eldoria stood tall again, alive, glorious, and doomed. In the vision, the Hall of Light stood, Eldoria's sanctuary, but it burned. A cloaked figure raised a hand. Darkness swept the city. The traveler stepped closer and saw his own face beneath the hood. The vision vanished, but something had changed. In a stone basin ahead, water rippled. Without wind, he looked in and saw not the man he was, but the boy he had been, standing in Eldoria long before it fell. As he stepped away, wind stirred through the ruined hall. Not cold, but familiar. It carried voices. One whispered his name. Another, his sister's. Names no one should know. Names he had buried long ago. He returned to the throne. The figure still sat, silent, still, as if carved from the same stone beneath it. But this time, the traveler spoke. Who am I to you? The figure lifted its head and whispered, you are what remains. The figure raised a hand, and the air split, revealing two paths. One led to light, to forgetting. The other, into the ruin's heart.
You may return to your world,
It said,
or reclaim the one you left behind.
but to remember is to become what you once were. Eldoria slept no longer. Its halls breathed. Its stones remembered. And the traveler was no longer just a man. He was its echo, its guardian, its final story still being written. He stepped toward the ruins, toward the forgotten throne, the buried truth, and the pieces of himself long left behind. As his foot crossed the threshold, the pendant flared. The city sighed, not in sorrow, but in recognition. Eldoria had been waiting for him. More tales await. Subscribe to Story Cave.